edition of the award-winning podcast, The Square and the Round. I'm Chris Kelly. I'm square. There's BB Shea. He's round.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I was expecting you to...
No, I'm sorry. Yes, it's good to see you,
I was
dude.
expecting you to speak.
Yes, I'm so proud of you today.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, very, very proud of you.
Well, it was like a marathon session,
They said that it would not be... I said it wouldn't be done. I was the only one.
No one thought I could do it.
And you made it happen.
I told you 3 months ago, I will watch the 10 nominees for Best Picture for the Oscars, for the Academy Awards this year. What was it? Only 10 days ago, 11 days ago, I had watched 3 of the 10.
That's right.
So last weekend, I watched 4, and this past weekend, I watched 3 more, finishing with a slog.
Yeah, you hit the marathon at the very end. Yeah, you didn't make it easy on yourself.
Killers of the Flower Moon. I knew I needed a whole day for that one.
Yes.
So I just set aside Saturday to do that one. But I did watch them all. Now, this is our Oscar recap.
Yes, Oscar recap all day today.
You're into that. You're into the Oscars.
Yes.
I used to. When I was younger, I used to see all the nominees.
Mm-hmm.
I would do this every year. Of course, there were only 5.
Of course. Now there's 10.
Then again, we all had to go to the theater to see them.
Is that true?
I couldn't get them any other way.
Did you go to the theater to see any of these?
No. I watched
You saw all of them
every one
in
of
the
them.
comforts of your home.
Now, I had to rent. Well, not even. I had to buy a few of them. They weren't even available to rent.
Yeah.
Because, but then, I justified that. I think I told you, probably last week, that usually they were $15. And if my wife and I went to see a movie in the theater, it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
And now I have them. But the ones I bought, I don't think I would watch again, like Zone of Interest, which is such a...
But even like the theater experience doesn't intrigue you anymore.
I like
Are you
it.
kind of over it?
I do
but
like it.
It's just way too expensive.
It's not even the expense. It's it's so easy right there in your house.
Yeah.
For me to watch all these movies, I could just go one to the next.
Yeah.
Like I watched 4 in 2 days. And it was so easy to just click them and watch them rather than get up, go, look at the showtime.
But I still enjoy that. I
do too.
Getting up, going.
Well, I like the theater experience. I do. But, they're making the theater experience. They try to make it as comfortable as possible with the chairs and everything. Do you think in 20 years we're going to have theaters or it's just going to be all
God, I hope so, man. I really do. But you're probably, no, that's hard to tell.
If I were in charge, which I'm not, I would make it so that you couldn't stream. A movie had to go to theaters first, the way it used to be. It used to be, it has to go to theaters. I think any movie who is going to be up for any award needs to be in theaters for, 3 months.
Is that still not a requirement for the Oscar nomination
I think it is, but I think it only has to go to theaters in Los Angeles and New York
for
a week.
It has to appear in a theater for at least 2 weeks, I believe. That's the rule. Yeah.
I think it should have to be in a theater in a third of the theaters in the country or more for 3 months or for a month. That way, it's done like it used to be done. It used to be you could go, you had to go see it in the theater, or you waited months and months until it was. E.T. was in my theater. We had a twin theater. It was there for over a year.
Really?
Yes, because at that time, there was video cassette, but then it comes out on video.
But then again, there was still an experience to be had with seeing in the theater. I don't think people care about that anymore.
Probably not.
There's no movies that unless it's. Yeah, I think the Marvel movies were the last ones where people were like, I have to go see this in the theater.
Well, I don't know. I heard Oppenheimer you need to see in the theater, which I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. But when I was young, it was you had to go to the theater to see it at all.
True.
I remember the days before there were VHS and you'd see, whatever, Star Wars in the theater, and then a year and a half later it comes on CBS or ABC. You don't, that's all you had. But anyway, I do like the theater experience. I do think it's going away.
Because I saw 6 of these in the theaters.
You did.
The other 4 just.
But one part of that is I have a pretty nice television with surround sound. So it's
at
not
that point. If you don't have to, I get it. Yeah.
But of all these, Oppenheimer, yes, and probably Barbie maybe is better than that. But the rest of them.
Yeah, there's grandiosity to Oppenheimer. Yeah. Killers of the Flower Moon maybe would have been.
Maybe.
But you're right. The other ones are, there's nothing huge about them.
Oh, I agree. The rest of look, Zone of Interest, Poor Things, Maestro a little maybe, but Anatomy of a Fall, American Fiction, they're all just little movies.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And to me, it's unfortunate. The Oscars this year, to me, more than any other time, and of course you always know this, I think it was Oppenheimer's to lose. It won everything. It won almost everything. And I knew that going in. I wish I didn't. There are better movies than Oppenheimer.
Absolutely,
there just are.
Like on my list, it's not even top 3. for me.
Me neither.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot better movies. But you're right. There's ones going into it where these are the front runners. If they win, that's cool. If they don't win, I'd be surprised.
But I don't think there should be front runners. We shouldn't know, Oppenheimer's going to sweep everything. I knew going in, Oppenheimer's going to win Best Picture. You know, it was an obvious given to me. I wish every year they would keep it really quiet. I wish there were no other really award shows.
Yeah.
That would be something. And I wish the people that voted on it really saw them, because most times they don't.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's a publicity push, and Oppenheimer has the most money, so they push for it.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that's always been the case with the Oscars. I think the Oscars historically haven't been about huge blockbuster movies. I mean, there have been ones that have won, Titanic, the Lord of the Rings movie, but
That's
rest,
true.
I mean, throughout the rest of history, it's been kind of independent movies that have won. And that's why I love the Oscars, is because it shines a light on those movies.
Well, I agree with that too, but I also think that going in every year, I usually hear, well, it's this movie. Even if it's a little movie, they'll say, well, this is going to win it. I wish I had no idea going in. And like this year, this year, to me, I think now they're going more toward the blockbuster because they want more viewers. You know? Barbie and Oppenheimer this year, they nominate them because that's why they nominate 10.
True.
Because, it used to just be 5, which you really only need 5.
I mean, honest to God, there are 5 movies here that probably shouldn't have been nominated.
Well, probably. I'll tell you this, though. I'm going to go through a list. Can I just do this? I'll go through my list of the movies.
Yeah.
I'll just go 1 to 10.
Sure.
And you can tell me where you put it on yours and then comment on it. I really like this.
That's cool. Let's do that.
But I'll say this. I would give a thumbs up to 8 of the 10.
Okay.
And number 9, I hated it because I don't like that type of movie.
Sure.
But I see why it got all the accolades. So my favorite movie of the 10 was Anatomy of a Fall.
That was mine as well.
Now, it's not going to win because it's a French movie.
Yes.
It's most of the movies in French, or half of it. But it's a fantastic murder
mystery. It
mystery.
is. It's one of those ones that keeps you guessing the entire time. The acting is wonderful.
Yes.
And I liked the fact that, I don't know why it was so interesting to me that half of it was in French and half of it was in English. Like the main character, she refused to speak English. She refused to speak Spanish in the movie, which was amazing. And she was nominated for Best Actress, which she could have won. Not surprised that she didn't.
Not surprised she didn't, but I thought she did a fantastic job.
And
she was great.
It won Best Original Screenplay.
Good.
Yeah, which I think was great. Yeah.
It had, there's a kid in it who's incredible. The lead actress is incredible. There's a dog in it who nearly gave his life.
Incredible.
The dog almost gave his life for that thing.
Yeah.
And here's how great it is. It's about, did she murder a guy or did she not? I think she did. You think she did?
I don't think she did, yeah.
But I do, and there's one scene to me that gave it that I think, but I don't think the writers even know. You know, I think
you're right. It's that ambiguous.
Yeah, but I loved it. I mean, if you want a great murder mystery, it's phenomenal. But you got to sit through French.
That's right.
To do it.
But even so, it's still captivating. I mean,
my God.
The twists and turns that it takes within the court is incredible.
Incredible courtroom drama.
The prosecutor was incredible.
He
surprised the
you
crap
despise
out of
him. I mean, you're cheering for the woman. I was.
Yeah.
But at the end, I was like, I think she did it, but I'm not positive. It's a great movie.
Yeah, very good.
It is really wonderful. That's Anatomy of a Fall. So that's both of our favorites. All right, my second favorite was American Fiction.
Okay.
What did you?
That was my third.
Okay.
That was 3
American Fiction is about a guy who is a writer who has written some really good stuff, but he's not. I mean, he sold some stuff, but he's not like a household name.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's black, and I think we explained this last week. And there's a woman who's written a book called like Weeze Lives in the Ghetto.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And as a joke, he writes something like this with a bunch of, like shooting and drugs.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Very African American centric. Yeah.
And stereotype.
Very like catering to that. Yeah.
Yes. And all of a sudden it becomes this bestseller. He didn't even want to release it. He's like, this is a joke. They release it. It becomes this bestseller, and it is a fantastic.
And he continues to try to sabotage its success.
Yes.
And wildly to him, it becomes getting more and more popular.
Yes.
Like, he changed the name of the book right before it got published to just the F word.
Yeah.
And then the white publishers were like, that is so brave.
Yeah.
That is so amazing.
All it is
Let's
the
do
F
it.
word.
Yes. And
it's unreal.
Yeah, it was a bestseller.
And I love, it's so real. Like, he has a romantic relationship in the movie, and I thought it was going to be all tied up in a bow. It's not.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, the acting in that was spectacular. There's some things that happen you never see coming or expect, with his family members. Mm-hmm. His brother, played by Sterling K. Brown, is, I thought, tremendous.
He got nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
See, I think he should have won.
Okay.
I think I don't know why. You're going to disagree wholeheartedly with this. I don't know why the winner of that, Robert Downey Jr., when I look back on Oppenheimer, I don't think he was above and beyond.
I disagree. I think he acted the best in the entire movie. I think he was the most memorable actor in the movie.
Boy, I hardly even think of him. And when I think of that movie, I think nothing but Cillian Murphy.
When I think of the black and white segments of the movie, he's all I think about.
Well, I don't. I just don't get him at all. I mean, I think he's fine.
Yeah.
If you said to me, did he do a good job, I'd say yes. I wouldn't have nominated him. I certainly would have put Sterling K. Brown above him. And in fact, today I read all the best. This is best supporting actor. Now, the nominees. I would have put him last. I just thought I think anybody could have played it.
I don't. I think that he brought life to that character. I think he was incredible, but that's Oppenheimer.
Well, we're not going to agree on that.
And American Fiction did win Best Adapted Screenplay. This is something that I did like about the award winners this year is that there was a lot of love shown to a bunch of
the different
movies.
It
wasn't just like the same people winning over and over
well, good,
again.
good.
Yeah.
So you have, I had American Fiction number 2. I would bet you have your number 2 as my number 3, which is The Holdovers.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. Great movie.
Uh-huh.
Paul Giamatti.
Wonderful.
I know you wanted him to win.
I think he should have won, but I'm not mad that Cillian Murphy won. I get it.
Yeah, I get it too, but honestly, I would have been just fine with Giamatti winning. And the more I think about that movie, the more I like it. Yeah. I really like that movie.
Yeah, it's very, I don't know, something about American Fiction and The Holdovers aren't huge to me. And they just seem like very fun, normal movies that tell great stories.
They're great storytelling.
And I think that's what really stands out to me about them.
To me, movies like Oppenheimer, which is over 3 hours, and certainly Killers of the Flower Moon, which is 3.5. Yeah. It's like, come on, just tell me the story. Exactly. It's like, do you have to be so over the top?
And it's funny. And dramatic at the exact same time.
Yeah.
American Fiction's funny.
Yes.
It's lighthearted. It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Exactly. Same with The Holdovers.
Yeah.
It's like got funny moments. It's got really serious moments. Both are tremendous stories.
Yes.
I like both of them better than Oppenheimer.
And the lady who played Mary Lamb, Divine Joy Randolph, she won Best Supporting Actress.
I agree with that.
Which I think was fantastic.
Oh, I like that.
She was amazing.
She was great in that movie.
Yes.
I agree. Understated and outstanding.
Yes.
Now, so my number 3 is The Holdovers. That was your number 2. So the top 3, we basically
got the same thing. Yeah.
Now I think we'll differ. Okay.
Probably so.
My 4th favorite is Past Lives.
Okay. My 4th, Past Life is my 6th.
Okay.
Yes.
I liked Past Lives a lot. Past Lives is in Korean.
Yes.
Nobody's going to see this movie.
No.
None. But I love the story.
It was a great story. It makes you want to look back on your life and go, was there an opportunity to fall in love that I didn't take advantage of?
Yeah, I felt so bad. The way it starts is there are 3 people sitting in a bar, and other people are going, I wonder what their story is. There's 2 Koreans and an American. And they're like, what's that story? And they kind of start, you ever do that?
Yes. Oh, yeah, 100%.
What's the connection between these 3? And it turns out that the 2 Koreans were like clearly in love when they were 14. They were smitten with each other when they were 14. And the girl moves to America. Her family moves to America for better opportunity. Yeah. And they reconnect like in their 20s, but just online, right?
Yeah.
And I saw this one first. This is the first one I saw. This is a few months ago. So then the guy comes over for a visit, but they've both moved on. She's married to this American.
They had regained touch for a few years and then lost touch again. And then he was like, I want to come and try this again.
I thought it was so well done. Well, he was married though.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so well done because the overarching thing was just what if? They should have been together.
Exactly.
And you see that, and you're like, golly, can't they get together? But the American that she married was a decent guy.
He was a great dude.
Guy, yeah.
And it was funny to me because when he came back, you wanted that connection to rekindle, but there was always just a separation between them. Yeah. That you were like, oh, this is not going to work out.
Yes.
Which was very real to me.
Agreed.
Yeah, because you're like, look, we're at this age. I'm married. You're married. We've moved on. Like, this isn't going to happen.
Very understated. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I don't think that works if it's like 2 Americans that drift apart. Like one goes, maybe you could do it. But this one, they had to move because they were Korean and they wanted a better opportunity. But later you're just like, but you changed her whole life. Her life should have been with that guy in Korea.
Yeah. That was one of the ones that I walked away like feeling something.
Me too.
Yeah. I was like, golly, what am I doing with my life? You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah. That one, I felt a lot from all of the first 4. That really left me feeling something.
No, you're right. I just think that Past Lives was fine to me. My first 6 are kind of like, they're all sort of interchangeable.
Me too.
My number 4 was Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Oppenheimer I like.
And I based that solely on a lot of the external fact, like the like the direction, like the sound and all that stuff. I think it was a great movie.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful movie, well acted all together. It was dramatic, and I think that's why it fell at 4 for me.
I find it to be overrated.
Okay.
Because I went into it thinking, first of all, I love historic stuff like that. And I thought this is going to be unbelievable. First of all, I think it's too long. I mean, those movies, God knows, if you're getting over 3 hours, it better be jam-packed.
Yes.
I will say this. When it started, I thought, well, this is moving pretty quickly because the dialogue is excellent.
Exactly, yes.
I really like the dialogue of it. But I think they could have told that story in 2.5 rather than 3 hours.
Yeah.
And sometimes I even found my mind just wandering in it. You know, the part of it I thought got thick with a lot of like jumbled, you know, and sometimes it was hard to keep up. You know?
You're right, because when they're talking about quantum physics and stuff like that, you're like, what is actually going on here?
Now, Murphy was great.
He was great, yes.
I really liked him. You know, I do like it. I liked... I don't know. That story to me just doesn't do that much.
Really, but I think it's a very interesting story. I feel like it's important for the history of America to tell that story and the world, actually. Yes. And I think the character of Oppenheimer is a very interesting person. Yeah. And I think Cillian Murphy did it justice.
I do too.
And I think Christopher Nolan, which who won Best Director for this, I think this was an opportunity for the Academy to kind of show him some flowers.
I do too.
Because he's kind of been understated. Not understated from the people, but understated from the film community.
And what else has he directed? Hasn't he been nominated for a bunch of stuff?
He did Interstellar.
Yeah, didn't see it.
He did Tenet. He did all of the Christian Bale Batman movies.
Didn't like it.
He did Memento.
Loved it.
And Insomnia with Al Pacino and Robin Williams.
Liked it. Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm missing a few there. But those, like the 3 Christian Bale Batman movies were really his big movies.
I didn't love those, but I'm not a Batman person.
I got you.
You know, I don't like those kinds of things.
Inception. That was his biggest movie.
Didn't see it.
Yeah.
I should see these.
Very like thinkers.
You like it?
I didn't. I think Inception is one of the most overrated movies of all time.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
Yeah,
it's not
my
that
most
good.
overrated movie of all time.
So is he an overrated director?
I think so.
Yeah.
Personally.
I was ready to say that, but I haven't seen enough to know.
I personally think so, but I think a lot of people who would disagree with that.
Well, I almost said he's overrated, but I've only seen a couple of his movies. Now, I did like Memento a lot.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
It's a little overrated.
It is.
And here Inception is way overrated. Like
Interstellar, did you ever see that?
No, is that
Interstellar
good?
I think that's my favorite movie of his.
Okay, better even than Oppenheimer.
Yes.
You know, I'm going to say he's overrated. I hear that name all the time. Like, Nolan. Mm-hmm. I don't know about this.
He has a grandiosity about him that I think captivates people.
Okay.
And the fact that he makes people think in his movies, I think is what captivates people.
Yeah, I suppose that's right.
But he's a brilliant filmmaker. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I just think his movies fall a little short for me.
I don't know
personally.
if I'm going to call him brilliant. I
know that's weird to say. It's kind of contradictory, but
okay.
Yeah.
So that was your number 4.
Oppenheimer was my number 4. Yeah.
Okay, my number 5, you're going to have way lower on your list. Now, Oppenheimer for me was 6. I put Barbie at 5, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I watched Barbie and Oppenheimer back to back, like most people did in the theater. I saw it at home, and well, you know, and this is such a this is like a human thing. I went into Barbie thinking I'm not going to like this. This is going to stink. It's going to be nothing but male bashing.
You're going to make me feel bad.
And then I loved it. You know, I loved Margot Robbie. I loved Ryan Gosling. Yes. He's great. A lot of people said he stole the show, but I think she held her own there with him. Okay. I mean, I do. I thought she was great.
Yeah.
I like Weird Barbie, who is what Kate McKinnon. Yeah. I really enjoyed the whole story. I just thought it was excellent. And it's an hour and 45. I'm like, all right.
Very easy to get through.
Easy to watch. I'd watch, of all of these first 5 that we've mentioned.
Yeah.
I'd watch that one again. I'd watch Anatomy of a Fall. I never want to see Oppenheimer again. I've seen it. I enjoyed it.
I've been thinking about watching that again.
Barbie or Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer. Yeah. Barbie for me was number 8. Mm-hmm. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I think it was fun for what it was. I don't think it needs to be on this list personally.
Well, if there had been only 5 nominated as there was for many years, it probably wouldn't have gotten nominated.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so at all.
Right.
And it didn't win anything.
No, best song
the other night. What does that matter? So I understand why you put it there. Just for me, it was just
I just thought it was fun. Yeah. You know, I really like. Plus, of course, I'm sure it's the biggest moneymaker of all.
Yeah, definitely was.
All right, so that's my 5. Then my 6 was Oppenheimer.
Okay.
All right, now then at 7, I have Killers of the Flower Moon.
Gotcha.
Where'd you put it?
9.
Way down that
I
far.
hated that movie.
Really?
That movie pissed me off.
Why did you hate that movie?
Because it was so long.
Too long.
It was way too long.
Too long.
It was And that ruined it.
And you don't have to. If they had told a nice. Now, this story, I just saw this the other day. Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro's excellent. Well, he's good.
Yeah.
Leo DiCaprio is really good, like always.
No,
you didn't think so?
No.
You didn't
I
think
think
so?
this is the first time
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No. This is the first time Leonardo DiCaprio's been in a movie that I was like, he should have passed on
Anybody
that.
could play
And
it.
I get Martin Scorsese is who he is.
Yeah.
Well, bro, you're so old. Stop making 4-hour movies, man.
That is too
Please
long.
chill with that.
That is too long.
Please chill. And Leonardo DiCaprio, like as somebody who came like top billing in a movie, he really just did not impress me at all.
He phoned it in.
He phoned it. Maybe it was just the character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he just did not do it for me. He was so boring to me.
The movie's boring.
It's
not.
so.
It is. Yeah, probably we should. I'm going to switch an order almost. Killers of the Flower Moon is so long. If they could have told that story, the story is true.
Yes.
It's about white people marrying Indians in Oklahoma because they've struck oil.
Yes.
And basically they killed the whole family to take the rights
right.
to the oil.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. I mean, that's an incredible story.
It is.
But God almighty, tell it in 2 hours and 10 minutes.
I don't know why it needed to be 3 hours
It did
long.
not have to be. There was so much to it. It's like they could have cut a ton out of that. Now, I think De Niro plays a nice understated role.
Yes,
there.
he does.
He's good.
De Niro did great.
I think you've got a point on DiCaprio where really another person could have played it.
Yeah, he really didn't impress me. The lady, Lily Gladstone.
Who's she? What is she?
She was the main.
The wife.
I can't remember her name.
Was she the wife of DiCaprio?
Yeah, she was the wife of
Molly?
DiCaprio. Molly.
Yeah.
Yes, I think she was incredible. I think she probably maybe should have won Best Actress. I think
really?
Yes, I think she was probably the best part of the movie for me.
Yes.
Watching her, I think she was incredible.
Was she nominated for Best
She
Actress?
was, yeah.
But didn't win.
Yeah.
Lost to
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone, who's I love her. I love Emma Stone.
Yes.
Okay, so you put that 9.
I put Killers of the Flower Moon 9. That
you
was
hated it.
Hated it.
I'd be interested to see what number 10 is for you because you put Barbie
at 8.
At 8.
Yeah.
I thought Barbie would be 10. So wait a minute. I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah.
Okay, now my next one, which is number 8, is Maestro. That might be your number 10.
That's my number 10.
That's your number 10.
My number 10.
I'll tell you what, I went back and forth on Killers of the Flower Moon versus Maestro, which would be higher on my list.
Yeah.
Because I thought, Killers of the Flower Moon, which you just said, was way too long. Story's pretty intriguing, but way too long.
Yeah.
Maestro, that's the story of Leonard Bernstein, who was a composer who had affairs with both men and women.
Yeah.
And I knew absolutely nothing about him and didn't care anything about him.
Yes, 100%.
But when I saw it, I was like, all right, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That's why I gave it a little, I found myself being kind of drawn into the story. His wife dies of cancer, and I thought that was a very good part of the movie. And there's one scene in it, let me see if you can remember it. His daughter comes home from college or some school, and the rumor is he's sleeping with a bunch of men.
Yes.
Well, the wife knows it. They basically have a deal, and it's a true story. And the wife just like, okay, go have your gay affairs, whatever. So he comes home from wherever he is. He actually brings one of his gay lovers with him, who's supposed to be like working on music with him. And the wife says, your daughter's home from school. She's hearing all these rumors. They have a terrible fight. And he says, well, I'm going to go talk to her. So he goes to talk to her. And she goes, I'm hearing these rumors. Or he says, you're hearing rumors. She goes, I don't want to talk about this. He's like, you're hearing rumors. And she goes, so they're not true. And he goes, of course they're not true. And then they look at each other for like a minute of silence. Yeah. And right there, I think we know, okay, she knows it's true. Knows, and he's sort of protecting her, and that's it. And don't ever talk about it again. I thought that was a really good scene.
Yeah, you're right. And I like Bradley Cooper. I really do. I think this is a story that did not need to be told.
Oh, really?
I think of all the people that you would make a biopic on, like why Leonard Bernstein. I understand.
Well, wait a minute. He did kind of have a secret life, and I don't care about him at all.
Yeah,
but
that's my thing. I'm like, I really feel like if you were to put that much passion into somebody, maybe make it about somebody who's, I don't know. That's just me, though. I just don't care about him.
So Bradley Cooper did that, right?
He did. He wrote it, directed it, produced it, acted.
He's getting into that, isn't he?
He's into it, man. And he's begging for an Oscar.
Well,
And this was not the year for him to do it.
No, because he's up against all these other...
Because I think he took a shot at Cillian Murphy.
Did he?
I don't know the exact...
In what way?
I can't remember the exactness of it, but somebody told me was in an interview with somebody and made a slight shot at Cillian Murphy about acting, but he's like a... He's like a try-hard, this guy, Bradley Cooper is.
Well, I don't know. And
it's very impressive to do it. You know what I'm saying? But
I
he's like just begging for some recognition.
I thought he did really well. I was really impressed with his performance.
And I just find it hard to believe that somebody acted like that in real life.
Oh, really?
Because he was just very, very over the top.
Yeah, darling.
I had an affair with you, your mom and your dad.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, come on, bro.
A lot of smoking. I mean, he did a ton of smoking in that movie, which I've always wondered. Like, if he's not a real smoker, my God, I guess it's clove cigarettes. But no matter, you're sucking something in your lungs.
No, what's funny is I was reading this fact about the holdovers.
Yes.
So the lady who worked in the kitchen, she found real cigarettes that she knew she would dislike and not be able to continue smoking.
Really?
So she decided to smoke American Spirits for real because she knew that once it was over, she wouldn't want to keep smoking them.
A friend of mine smokes American Spirits, and I've heard they're awful.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
That's what I hear,
the same thing.
Discount brand cigarettes.
Yeah,
American Spirit,
she smoked American Spirits because she know once this is over, I won't want to smoke them anymore.
I think Bradley Cooper will wind up getting an Oscar in the next 10 to 15 years as like a make good. Don't you think?
Probably so.
What was he? He should have won for American Sniper?
Maybe, yeah.
I thought that was overrated.
I didn't
love it.
I liked it when it came out. I've never wanted to watch it again.
Me neither. I never loved it.
Let me tell you this prediction I made about Robert Downey Jr., which I've told people before, but nobody remembers. He was Iron Man.
Yeah.
And the last Avengers movie he was in, I said that if he dies in the movie, if his character dies in the movie, he will win an Oscar in the next 5 years.
Okay.
Did it.
Oh, he did it.
Called
that's right.
that. Yeah.
And that's his first one.
Because that was his first one, yes.
Yeah.
But I was like, once he takes the opportunity to go away from Marvel movies and start doing actual movies again, I feel like he'll get some love.
Well, he's a good actor. Let's face it, he's been a good actor for a long time. Had the issues with the drugs and stuff.
Of course.
Now, my last two are going to be much higher on your list, obviously. So let's get into it. At 9, I put Poor Things.
Okay.
Where'd you put it?
I put that at 5.
Okay.
That was my 5.
Why do you like that so much?
I liked it because, first of all, it's just completely original.
Very unique.
I loved it. I loved the set design. I loved the way it was shot.
Yes.
I think that Mark Ruffalo was incredible.
Agreed. I think he could have won Best Supporting Actor.
He could have, yes. I think all of the acting was wonderful.
See, I would have put him above Robert Downey Jr.
Fair. I could see that. I could see that. I think Emma Stone was great. I think the entire movie was just... It wasn't my favorite, but I was captivated the whole time.
Yeah, I was captivated by it. I agree with what you're saying. It's the cinematography is incredible.
Beautiful.
Ruffalo's amazing.
Yes.
Willem Dafoe's great.
Yes.
Emma Stone, I have no problem with her winning Best Picture. The subject matter, I hated it. I hated everything about it. That whole thing about putting brains and it's so stupid to me. The fact that there's like a half chicken, half pig, so stupid. I mean, I just looked at it and it's like I would never ever watch that if it weren't for this challenge. I was trying to watch all 10 movies. Halfway through, I was like, this is awful. Her having sex with everybody. God.
I was like, I did not expect to see Emma Stone naked that much.
And I mean, everything.
She was naked. And like, it wasn't even just I'm naked. Like, there was hardcore sex going on.
Awful sex.
Yes.
And
with random people.
And she is a really well-known, well-accomplished actress. I can't believe she did that.
I'm glad that's why I'm glad she won the Oscar.
Me too. I was like, give it to her.
I was like, she totally deserved that.
It's very rare I say this about movies, but like I thought it was brilliantly shot, brilliantly acted.
Yeah.
It was totally original, which I love, but I hated it. I mean, I hate the movie. I hate that whole thing. I tell you what really knocked it down a few pegs for me. At the end, they put the brain of a goat in a guy. And I was like, come on.
That was kind of, they kind of got a little.
I hated that.
But no, I thought it was hilarious. I thought some of the funniest dialogue
some of it was
I've heard
funny.
in a long time.
Well, Ruffalo.
Yeah. And he was just, what a scumbag, dude.
Great. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Really
he was
played
incredible.
that well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. I don't want to even be critical of the movie. It's just not for me.
I got you.
I just don't like
And I can totally see you're just not into that style of thing.
Not at all.
But you're 100% right. Like, beautiful movie, beautifully acted.
Yeah.
But I could see where somebody would the content would make them fall flat a little bit. Yeah.
It's like when people used to say how bad Brokeback Mountain was because they're just not into that. They're not going to watch that.
Exactly.
And my least favorite, but yours is going to be much higher, is Zone of Interest.
I put that at 7 for me.
Yeah, okay. I could almost give it that. I told you the problem. My problem with Zone of Interest, which is about these folks that are Nazi soldiers and like a leader in the Nazi movement. They have a beautiful little family on a beautiful little house and yard and water right next to a concentration camp. So basically nothing happens, and in the background you hear screams and gunshots and dogs barking and that kind of stuff.
And I think what was interesting about this movie is that they made the concept, they wanted it to carry the weight of the movie.
Yes.
Like, this is a thing, and we just want it to be what people remember for the entire movie, which is cool. But something's gotta happen. Something's gotta like go on, and there was really no continuity.
Nothing.
I really didn't know what was going on the entire time.
That's why I couldn't. I was like, I can't.
This dude like moved, but he was having an affair, but like they really didn't talk about it.
I know. And what was with the woman? At one point, it looked like a cartoon or something.
Yeah, it was like shot in negative.
Why?
But she was
stealing food, or
no, she was hiding food for the people, slaves.
The people in the concentration camp. But they really didn't make that very clear.
No, they didn't.
When I can't understand it, I mean, it's artsy and everything, but I was just like, I hate this.
But at the same time, there was a scene where he was leaving his office, and then he looks to the left, and then it cuts to modern day of people cleaning the museum of Auschwitz.
Really
and I was like, there are people who do that every day.
Oh, yeah.
They wash the windows that hold all of the shoes.
Have you been there? Have you been to the concentration camp museum?
No.
Oh,
I don't think I could do that.
It's in Washington, D.C. It's the most powerful one you can go to.
I don't think I can do
incredible.
that. No.
I've been there once, and I mean, you need a whole day to even go. It's unbelievable.
But even though, you sit there and you're like, oh, this actually probably happened.
Right, yeah.
Like, there are people who probably lived right next to
that is true.
The biggest atrocity in modern history.
They just live right next to it.
And there's just this family living.
So it's an incredible commentary.
Yes.
I'll say that's a brilliant idea. But
just didn't follow through.
I hated it because nothing happened. I guess, yes, it's making, if it were a 15-minute movie, yes, but it's an hour and 45-minute movie, and it's just like, I can't sit through it. That's why I gave it the last. Yeah. The only ones that I wouldn't see, and again, are Poor Things and Zone of Interest.
Okay.
I mean, I would never watch Killers of the Flower Moon again because it's so long.
Yeah.
The only ones I give thumbs down to are Poor Things and Zone of Interest, just basically because I don't like those types of movies.
I could watch Poor Things again. And
I could never watch Poor Things again.
The Holdovers I've seen again. American Fiction I would definitely watch again.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I wouldn't watch Oppenheimer again because of the length of it. I just feel like, okay, now I've done it. I've seen it. That's it. Yeah. The rest of them I'd watch over again. I mean, I really like Past Lives. I really like Holdovers, American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall. I thought that was a good year.
Yeah, not a bad year.
It, yeah. Are we going to do it again next year? My wife says no. She's not doing it with me.
Is she tired of watching all these movies?
Well, she was watching Poor Things, and then when we watched Killers of the Flower Moon, she's like, why am I doing this to myself? She didn't like Killers of the Flower Moon either. I mean, good, but long.
Yeah, maybe if the movies are shorter next year, maybe I would.
Or if they just nominate like 6.
Yeah,
that would be really nice.
I have a feeling they're going to do more, though.
Oh, I do too.
Probably one more.
Have they capped it at 10? They have capped it at 10.
Maybe
so. You have it.
I need to give this
my $5 bill.
Yeah.
Because I bet on Cillian Murphy, and you bet on
Paul Giamatti. Just wanted to make that right. Yeah.
He should get one. Paul Giamatti should.
One of these days.
He's very good. He's that good. Do you like, what's the wine movie he's
Sideways? In? Never saw it.
I didn't like it when I saw it.
Really?
In fact, I hated it. But I've seen it since, and I like it a lot more. Yeah, you should probably see that. If you like Paul Giamatti,
and I love Alexander Payne, the director. That's one of the ones I haven't seen of his.
Why don't you see
Weirdly
that?
enough, I need to check it out.
What else has he done? Alexander Payne?
Election.
Oh my God! Say no more.
Say
one of my favorite movies of all time.
The Descendants.
That was good.
Nebraska. Did you ever see that?
No, you told me that.
Nebraska
really
was great. Yeah, love Alexander Payne. Anyway,
that's all I have.
That's the Oscar wrap up for 2024 on the Square and the Round.
Well, you got to see. I should stop talking. You just ended it. You just ended it beautifully.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You did it perfect. You should. But our top 3 are in whatever order: Anatomy of a Fall, American Fiction, and The Holdovers.
Of course,
you should see them.
Yeah,
you should see them. They're really good. You won't, but you should. Everybody should.
If you get a chance, if it's around, put it on.
Put them all on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what did you say a minute ago?
That's it for the Square and the Round 2024 Oscar recap. Hopefully, we'll do it again next year.